Hello and welcome. My name is Russell Warren Kukla, and today I have to share with you what I truly believe to be the most important insight in the history of public education. And from what I can best determine, public education is 350 years and going. So for today, I'd like to share with you how the three primary elements of creating, as taught by Robert Fritz, are the same three primary elements as taught by Harry Lorraine for memorizing. Before I do that, I have a question for you. When the word creating is brought up, it seems a little bit fuzzy, maybe a little bit esoteric, yet Robert Fritz has, I believe, 8 books with very valuable information and insights about creating. So if I were to ask you to speak before a group of people about creating, how long would your presentation last? In the same way, I believe Harry Lorraine has like 10 books on memorizing. I think I have 6 of those books. And again, if I were to ask you or ask a politician or a teacher or a parent to speak about memorizing, how long would your presentation last? So upon graduation, America's students should be able to speak about both, about their experiences or understandings of both memorizing and creating. So where would we begin? What would we talk about first? So for that, I have some building blocks that I'd like to share with you. And for these building blocks, for both memorizing and creating, we start with the mechanics as taught by Robert Fritz in his book, Your Life as Art. So Robert talks about understanding the mechanics of creating, the do's and don'ts, the how-tos of creating. Once that's understood, then we have the orientation. What is it that you want to create? Starting small, building upon that, larger, more involved, more intricate. And along with that comes the spirit of creating when it's done correctly. So with the mechanics, the orientation, and I hope to do this someday at school board meeting or charter school meetings or before parents or before students. So when we're doing it right, we can then build upon for both memorizing and creating. So where are we in America's K-12 public education today? Well, if we strip away the building and take away the orientation, we're back to the mechanics. So I'm having a little bit of trouble finding the quote. It's either by Plato or by Sir Isaac Newton, that all learning is but remembrance. So when we take away the mechanics, orientation. The Bill Gates Foundation, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, and Intel Corporation spend a lot of money, millions of dollars on orientation. What our children learn today, they need to use in the real world tomorrow. Absolutely true. Unfortunately, when we're missing the mechanics of learning, especially as it pertains to memorizing, which I believe is the most difficult thing to create, is a memory, then where does our spirit go? That's where we are in America's K-12 public education. So everybody wants to succeed, everybody's trying their best, but as W. Edwards Deming says, by what method? Only the method matters. And so for our K-12 public education, we have to get down to the basement, the foundation, the mechanics of memorizing, the orientation of memorizing, and therefore the spirit of learning can be there. The same for creating. The mechanics of creating, the orientation of creating, and therefore the greater spirit of creating. So our students and yourself, for learning both, and especially for us as adults to pick up that drop stitch. It's never too late to learn a method for memorizing because it also activates the brain in the same way when we use it for creating. So someday, I hope that you can present to me a unique insight about either memorizing or creating or both. and that you can speak about both for a long time, that you can share information, because that is the goal for our Students for America. Thank you very much for watching.